crimes exclusively on the Babe Hair Extensions channel. My name is Courtney and I am your host. Now, we're going to do things a little bit differently today. Instead of solving a major crime, because this detective is tired, we are going to actually just talk about the differences between education and certifications, all the different things between like demos and tips and tricks, and why a certification is actually really important. So, grab yourself a cup of coffee or tea or whatever it is you want to drink and join me today. So, we are going to be talking all about certification versus like social media certification. And I want to start actually with a little bit of my own personal journey. And then I do, of course, in true crime fashion, have a bit of a story for you. But I want to start out with my own journey, if that's okay with you guys. I became a licensed cosmetologist in 2012. And throughout my journey, I did both an in-school instruction and apprenticeship. I found for me personally, apprenticeship was just a little bit better and more effective, but I did start out in a school, and that's kind of when I had my first taste of extensions. And at that point, it was kind of more the feed-in braids or like the sewn in with the cornrow braid across the hair, those kinds of extensions. And I was like, well, I feel like there's a lot out there on the market that I'm not seeing or not hearing of. You know, you can watch like a movie or, read a tabloid or whatever, and you see all the celebrities with short hair one day and long hair the next, and you're like, well, obviously they're getting extensions done. So what kinds of things are out on the market, and what can I, do to enhance my own personal and professional career? And so the salon that I ended up starting out with, I begged and begged for extension education. And it just so happened, luck of the draw, we ended up with Babe Hair Extensions. Now, the class that we had received initially was more of a demo type class. So it touched on tape-in method, beaded method, and fusion method, but it really wasn't a certification class. It was kind of more of a, hey, this is kind of how you do it, put a piece or two in. Does that look right? Does that feel right? That kind of thing. Here's some of the, common questions. Here's some of the things. Here's how you put it in, take it out. But it wasn't really like an actually in-depth certification class. It was kind of more of a look and learn. So I walked away from that class feeling like, I don't know if I really want to do something like a beaded or a fusion method, because that just seemed like a lot of work and I was not ready for that, I didn't think. So I decided I was going to stick it with tape-ins, because I felt like that was the easiest for me at that time. It was a beginner method, so I was like, oh, well, tape-ins are pretty easy. We'll go ahead and start with that. And then about a year or so later, I heard of the Babe Mastery Tour class. And I was like, oh, well, I want to do that, because I feel like that's going to be more in-depth education. And it was. Babe Mastery Tour is a 2-day certification class where you learn all about, and at that time, back in, I think that was like 2015, it was the 3 methods. We hadn't added our sewn-in category yet, but it was tape, beaded, and fusion, and it was 2 days of hands-on learning. And in that 2 days of class, we learned a lot about consultations, why they're needed, why they're important. We learned how to install and how to remove each method. We also learned about pricing structures, and then we learned about just aftercare and maintenance, like how to tell your clients what to do at home. And that class really kind of blew my mind, because I realized that there was a lot more to learn than just what that demo class was. So what I had been doing up to that point was kind of basic, a little frustrating, not gonna lie, and I made a lot of mistakes. And taking that Mastery Tour class really helped build my confidence of saying, oh, now I know what I'm doing wrong, or how to address this problem, or, what to do moving forward. Now, fast forward 7 years later, and here I am, educating with the best hair extensions company on the planet. It's a really great way to really enhance your skills behind the chair as an extensionist. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the differences between demo and certification. And I like to call it like social media certified. There's a lot of things on social media, through TikTok, through Instagram, through YouTube, that are really great resources. Really great tips and tricks, good ways to kind of break down like, oh, this is kind of an install, or this is how we remove extensions, different things like that. But I want to caution you all against being what I call social media certified. It is not an actual certification class. It is not something that you're actually putting your hands on and learning, even one-on-one or in a group setting with an actual certified instructor. The danger of doing a social media certification is that you're really not learning all of the extra ins and outs to make every transformation successful. You're not learning the art of consultation. You're not learning a great deal about cutting and blending, all of those things. And while those tips and tricks are great, they're more quick bites of information. So it doesn't give you the whole story when it comes to extensions. Case in point, this extension story. What? We're doing real hair crimes? No, we're not, but same kind of thing. So I want to give you two different examples of this that were just brought to my attention by a friend of mine. One of them was this gal walked in to a salon, and she had already had extensions put in her hair. Now, the extensions that were put in her hair were actually glue-in extensions. But on top of those glue-in extensions was an extra row of sewn-in extensions. So imagine, that row of glue-ins attached literally to your scalp, right? And then sewn-in hair on top of the glue-in hair. That's pretty bulky, and definitely a harder mess to get out because of the glue-in extensions. Now, there are a lot of good removers for that and all of that, but it definitely took that stylist that was telling me this story about 8 hours to remove those extensions safely and properly. It did cause a little bit of damage, and it did cause a lot of scalp irritation on the part of the client, which was super sad because this could have been avoided. Upon further reflection within this story, as the extensions were getting removed, she was telling the stylist that the person wasn't actually certified in an extension method or an extension brand, just watched a video and decided that she could do it. So there's kind of a bit of a caution right there. If you are searching for an extension stylist, you want to make sure that they actually are certified through a reputable company, because it really does make a huge difference what you end up with and how you're told to take care of them. Another quick example is a removal video that was shown on a social media site, and somebody tried to do it themselves, and the chemicals just kind of stayed in the hair. So the remover was sprayed onto the tape-ins were removed out of the hair, but they couldn't get the extra residue out of the hair, so they tried a mask, like a hair mask, and then put a processing cap on it, went to bed for 8 hours or whatever, and it still caused a whole host of extra irritation. Well, the argument sort of was, well, the remover said, to wash the hair before you reinstall the hair, and I wasn't going to reinstall the hair, so I didn't know how to get the residue out. Again, a video on social media just shows a quick bite of what is actually happening. With a certification class, you're actually getting the whole bite. You're getting the whole sandwich. And we want you to eat the whole sandwich. So you're getting a whole different set of real life instances and real life instruction. So just be aware, for those of you who are non-stylists, if you're looking for extensions, if you're a client and you're like, hey, I'm really considering extensions, but I'm not 100% sure, what should I ask for? What should I look for? Ask them where they're certified. Ask them what methods they're certified in, because there's a different method for everybody. Babe as a brand is a solutions-oriented brand. We believe that there's a method for everybody. So whether that's tape, beaded, fusion, sewn-in, weft, or even temporary hair like clip-ins and crown hair, there's a method for everybody. So ask, based off of your lifestyle and what you enjoy doing with your hair or not doing with your hair, what the best method is. And if they're properly certified in an extension company, they should be able to choose a good method for you and for whatever your desires are. So stylists, if you are just kind of a social media, certification kind of person, I challenge you to actually become really certified in an extension method. And I have a great method to start out with if you are wanting one. This is our hottest growing method, and it's called the sewn and weft category. So we are offering $75 for our online education for our WEF certification. Normally it's $150, but we're going to give it to you for $75 with the code WEFT75. So if you use that code, stylist, on babehairextensions.com, use the code WEFT75, WEFT75, you're going to get your WEFT certification for only $75. It's an actual paper certification. Well, it's digital, but same thing. So you actually get certified in this method, and it's going to give you everything from A to Z. So you'll have full knowledge of all of that. So WEFT75. So don't get on social media and get your certifications that way. Don't think that you can just go and do it all. Get actually certified. It is much more beneficial for you as a professional, and it's much more beneficial for your client as somebody that is seeking an extension for their life. Again, extensions are a great and fast-moving category. We want everybody to have a great hair, the hair of their dreams, and extensions are a wonderful way to achieve that. So WEF75, get online, stylist, and use that code. What crimes will we come up with next? You'll have to wait and see. But until then, check out our Instagram at Babe Hair and our TikTok at Babe Hair. And come right back here to my YouTube, where you can see